Oh, look, Jake Retzlaff is here. Well, hello, Jake.
What's up, guys?
How difficult is it to be the best quarterback on earth for over a decade?
Wake up every morning, brush your teeth. I think that's about it.
Right? And it's crazy to me. So we're talking about this Tom Brady Gisele Bundchen story you may have heard. That she allegedly had an extramarital affair with a jiu-jitsu coach, whatever. And we go back to this thing where she was like, you have to retire from football. How difficult would it be if your wife said to you, Jake, you will not play another down of football or we're done? That's got to be impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, football was here before her, and it will be here after her. So, yeah, football at least.
Oh, my guy. Dude. My guy. Let's go. Let's go. Better to win a football game or watch BYU beat Kansas the other night?
That was a heck of a game. I don't know. That was a crazy game. That was awesome to see that on the road. On the road was crazy. Yeah. Did you see the 200 students waiting at the airport for him? That was pretty sick too.
Yeah. What is BYU fandom like? Like, what are BYU fans like? Because now you're like I don't know if you know this, you're the starting quarterback at BYU. People are paying attention to what you're doing. What is it like to be the apple of the BYU fans' eye?
I was getting my acai bowl yesterday, and I'm just at the nutrition center where they got them, and this guy just comes up to me, just like he's like restocking something, or he's like, "Hey, dude, keep doing what you're doing, man. I love watching you play." And it's just like, "Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Like, that's so cool." And I don't know, it's just out of nowhere and then unconditional all the time. That's the great thing about the BYU fans. It's just all the time. You never know when you're going to get some type of support, some type of love, and you know they're insane, and they're insane because they're just BYU fans, and they're insane and sober, which makes them even crazier.
Talking to Jake Retzlaff, BYU quarterback. Thanks to our friends at Big O Tires and American Fork. Big O Tires, your total car care experts. And I think it's really interesting that it is. Do you ever get used to that? I mean, again, we talked about it last week. You have your own T-shirts now. Like you're kind of a big deal. Like, do you ever get used to that? Has that even sunk in?
That's hard to. I don't think so. I don't know if I will ever get used to it. I'm just used to going out and playing football and then enjoying like going to a basketball game and stuff. And then you get like random people, you know, if they walk up the aisle and see you, they'll be like, "What's up, Jake?" Like they know you. It's pretty funny. And, it's pretty cool. And I'm just like shouting back, "Yeah, go Cougs." You know what I mean? And so, I don't know that I will get used to it. I'm not right now. And, maybe I will. I don't know what that feeling is going to be like getting used to it. It's kind of surreal, kind of nuts to be just like, you know, that like important to other people, just like passing you by in the hallways of a basketball game or at any sort of event or something like that. So I don't know.
Was there a moment in high school when you were playing where you were like, all right, I got a chance to really go and do some special things at the next level? Because I think as high school athletes, we all, you know, aspire to have those moments. But for you, do you remember a moment when you felt that the first time?
When I knew I had a chance was like high school, my junior year. So my junior year, I was the third string quarterback because I was behind two returning starters who had started the year before. They're both seniors, so they're both older than me. And so I come in after my sophomore year. The biggest jump probably in my, you know, development was my sophomore to my junior year of high school. And so the coaches didn't really see me as a possible starter. And so I come in the first game, I'm just the backup and everything. We're playing Mater Dei, who's number 1 in the country. Cody Epps was actually on the other side of the field that day. And where we go down, create something ridiculous, like 35-0. Our quarterbacks are not getting it done. And Coach Logan, my head coach, he goes, "All right, Jake, you're up." I was like, "All right, let's do it." And no starters came off the field for either team. Mater Dei wanted to shut us out completely. And I went in there and I led the team to two consecutive touchdown drives back to back, and making throws to, you know, guys like Gary Bryant, who's at Oregon now, and hand the ball off to, you know, Nick Floyd, who's going to Utah State now after junior college. And so that leading those drives and be able to execute against a defense that, you know, is like that, has the intensity like that, that made me realize I was like, all right, I could do this. It's just about, to me, it was made the game simpler. Like, I think people tend to overcomplicate it. If I simplify the game as just driving down the field and scoring against these teams, then I could be a dang good quarterback. So that was kind of like that moment where I was like, all right, first of all, I'm better than the two guys ahead of me, which I thought I knew, but I proved to every other person. And then, you know, second of all, I was like, and I can execute this offense against one of the best team in the country.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that team went on to win a natty that year. It was them or Bosco, like every year. But
Yeah,
like
modern
that,
day is massive. I don't think people understand modern day. Like every sport, they're just gigantic, and I see, like that's the moment. That's why you play the game. You'll never forget those two drives. You'll never forget that moment. And I mean, I think it's going to be really interesting because not even shining you because you're on the show. I think this is that year for you. I think this is that transformative, take a big jump forward year where I think you become the centerpiece of every defensive scheme that you guys are going to see. And I wonder, you're going into spring ball now. Do you feel like you have put yourself in a position? Have you done the work? Have you made the effort? Have you done the little things you think you need to do to take that jump?
I think so. I was thinking about the other day, you know, we have these little walkthrough practices where coaches are out, and it's basically like shirts and shorts, 40 minutes of practice pretty much. But it's a walkthrough. And so at the end, we run 18 plays against the defense in two different fields. So total of 36, but it's the same plays. And this offseason was my first offseason real training. Last year I was here in January, but I had a huge health issue. I had bad tonsillitis, which had a ton of complications. So I was out for a lot of winter workouts and about half of spring ball. And so I didn't have that. Whatever development I had, it was non-existent after the tonsil issue and stuff like that. So this offseason I've really been able to push the envelope and get better and get faster. And I'm already seeing a different athleticism on the field, to be honest with you. Like I circled our defense 2 days ago in our walkthrough on just a quarterback drop play and ran into the end zone. And so I think you guys are going to see a different speed out of me for sure. I think I'm at a heavier weight and I feel lighter than I ever have, which would be dangerous when it comes to running against the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so ready to get going here. Today is it's leap day, right?
Yeah.
And it's a big day in football, big day in Provo when we get started for spring ball. And so, yeah, dude, I feel so different than I've felt in any year I've ever played. My development is the highest it's ever been. I'm running differently. Like our strength staff is incredible. Those guys have dialed this up, and they put all the attention into the minor details that make a huge difference especially when it comes to running mechanics and acceleration and stuff like that, top end speed. And so just working with those guys every day this winter has just made a huge difference. And
have you seen a difference in the program strength and conditioning agenda, the way they go about? Because I mean, you guys have made significant changes in that area recently. I mean, and it's something that it been talked about wildly at BYU for years now. Like, do you feel like that? I mean, I'm going to guess you're going to say yes based on what you just said, but how different is it for you?
Well, I showed up and the strength staff was, Spencer Reed and his staff. And obviously we ended up getting the new staff like kind of in the summertime. The weird thing about that is it was kind of late for them to start their own program in the summer, but we still had to keep working out. So, Coach Phillips and his staff didn't really have their program completely installed in us. And so it was kind of funky. It was like we were doing half, we were still doing workouts and stuff like that, but it wasn't like planned out. It wasn't, dialed in exactly what we needed to be. It was just working out and getting the things we could get done in that little time that we had. And so this year you can tell like they put so much planning, so much time into putting this program together. Like I think people take it for granted, strength programs because they can really make a huge difference in the team development. So yeah, obviously it's a huge difference, and you just feel like, all right, this has been a progression since day one. They've been working towards something, and I feel like I'm as close to that as I could have been this offseason, just putting in the work during workouts.
Yeah, and I think talking to Jake Retzlaff from BYU here on the Monty Show, I think one of the things that's so critical is all of that physical stuff is really important. How are you feeling mentally, and how to? Because I would have to believe you have a much higher command of the offense now than you've probably ever had.
Yeah, no, especially like if I think about this time last year, I'm walking in like just trying to get every call right, let alone every scheme like down. And now I've just made a huge jump in that personally, just understanding like when I get a play call now, I see a picture. I don't just think, okay, what do I have to do on this play? I see a picture and understand what's going on. So it's a big difference, from a year ago. And that's why I've been itching for spring ball for about a month and a half. So no, yeah, it's been a fun little journey to get here. And that time off was necessary, but I felt like let's get back on the field. Obviously, the season left a semi-bad taste in my mouth. I say semi-bad because obviously the record shows the last two games we should have won those two games, but like the semi-bad taste is because our offense started finally clicking. We started actually putting things together. We looked like us. We showed what BYU offense has been in the past, and that's why I was like excited to get back to it. And so I'm ready to pick up where we left off.
Some folks don't think you guys are going to be very good. I don't know if you saw the rankings that came out. There are some people who I think don't value BYU on the field this year. And I wonder, do you guys pay attention to that stuff? Do you look at preseason rankings? Do you care?
For the most part, those guys have no idea what they're talking about to begin with. It's like if I threw darts at a dartboard to pick teams, that's basically what they do sometimes, it seems like. And so I don't know. I don't understand the take on our team. I don't know why they think what they think. I don't know. Did they just not watch the end of the season? I don't know. I don't care for that, for those people who rank those like that. I know they ranked us really low. I don't know how low, but I know it was really low. And I was like, it's whatever. You know what I mean? It's just more fuel to the fire. It's just something to think about. Like, all right, well, it's us versus everybody, I guess. You know what I mean? And it's our locker room, against whoever shows up on that field. And, the haters are going to hate, but it's just about, talking about Tom Brady, it's just about the man in the arena. And so we don't worry about that extra noise. If anything, it only brings us a little extra fuel. That's it. So,
well, I think the interesting part about that is, I think that's the current state of college football. And we talk about this all the time when you're on the show, but I don't love the idea that I feel like football is a PR machine now. I feel like that we're doing this 14-team playoff thing, and I feel like it's got to at some point be about September, October, and November on the field, right? And I think like the Utah game this year that we talked about last week, that's a massive football game now. Like I would imagine you guys have a clear understanding. That's a really important football game for you guys this year.
Yeah, that one that one's circled, of course, because that's the holy war. You can't ignore that one. But that's it. Yeah, there's not much to be said more about that. We understand that game.
Exactly.
We're just excited for it.
Before we let you go, let me ask you about spring ball. Like, what do you need to accomplish? Do you have, for on a team level, on an offense level, do you have a clear agenda? What are you guys looking to accomplish here?
Well, I'll tell you what, the one thing that we are going to pride ourselves to be in this upcoming season is the most physical team in the Big 12. So instilling that physicality within our scheme is huge. And so you got to, in order to be able to instill that physicality, you got to know how to and know the offense and how you do that within our offense. And so really understanding that this season is going to be spring is going to be a good, journey for us. I think that, we just keep working on our offense and just keep getting the reps in is going to make a big difference. That's just the spring's a time for, like, you understand your chemistry, you understand all these different things. You got a lot of new guys in the off season, and you get to show them the ropes, you show them how we do things. And yeah, honestly, we're doing things differently this year. We have a different type of feeling about, going into this off season that I don't think we had that type of urgency last year. And so it's going to be fun to, push the envelope with that, and just kind of, getting with the guys. One thing that I know I'm going to value a lot is just getting with all those receivers, getting the reps with them, and every live rep in practice is going to be worth so much, and being on time with them. And so I know we're at a pretty good place right now, but I'm striving to be at a way better place when it comes to knowing where every guy's going to be at on the field in any given play. So I think that's a huge part of spring ball, along with, breaking guys in, and then just, new freshmen get to see what we got with the young guys, which is always fun. And we got some young chippy guys who got a little chip on their shoulder. It's pretty fun to see them and talk to them in the hallways and stuff. We got some young cats who are ready to go, especially like on the defensive side of the ball. So we're excited to see that.
Jake, on a more lighthearted note, obviously your interview is brought to you by Ryan at Big O Tires. We advocate for Ryan, the great job that he does, but I know that you've worked with him. I wanted to hear you just kind of talk about your experience with him because, obviously he sponsors the show. We can tell people for days, but I wanted to hear you kind of just talk about your experience with him.
Yeah, shout out Big O Tires. Shout out Ryan Eldridge over there. The dude's awesome. His family is incredible. That's a guy who helped me out when I came to Utah. Like, I have car issues, and I saw somebody post about them, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go check it out and see what he's about. And that guy has helped me so much. He got me in some tires that could survive in the snow. He checks that he got, he got my car right and stuff like that. And he's constantly like checking up too. That dude's a great dude. Like, he's always looking out for not just me, the guys overall on the team too. And he's just a pro about what he does. And he's got a great little thing going on over there in American Fork. And I'll drive past 5 different Big O Tires to get to him, because he is, him up in American Fork. He's the guy. So shout out Ryan, shout out the family. I know he's got 2 little wrestlers he got running around the house. And so those got a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Ryan at Big O Tires. Go check him out. Tell him you heard about it from Jake Retzlaff and the Monty Show. Before I let you go, so I understand there's some golf ability. Like, what's your golf game like these days?
Well, I'm out of practice because I haven't been on a course since like the summer, so I got a lot of work to do to get back. I got to go hit a range. I mean, the weather's been incredible. Knock on wood. This off season, I was here last winter for my first winter here, and it was snowstorms through like April and May. I was like, what is this? And so, yeah, I'm excited. I got to get out there. I know it's going to be another great day today. I obviously got spring ball going, and won't overdo it myself. But if I get a Saturday or a Sunday where I could just go out there and swing it, I'm excited to.
Yeah, we're going down to St. George this weekend to play a little golf, watch a little sports activities with the friends and stuff. Yeah, I'm out of practice too. Yeah. I can't wait for if we could have Los Angeles weather in Utah. I miss my SoCal 70 and sunny. If we could have that every day in Utah, Jake, life would be so much easier for golfers.
It would be awesome. It would be incredible.
Well, hey man, have a good kickoff to spring ball. Always appreciate you. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
All right, appreciate you guys.